Good morning, esteemed viewers. It's a beautiful Tuesday morning, and we are excited to have you join us on today's edition of Now Streaming, coming to you live from the ACNN studio. I am your uncle, Somthochukwu Okizu, and it's my pleasure to be with you this morning. I'm also not alone. My co-anchor is here with me, Boluwatife Ageboye is joining me in the studio today. Welcome, Bolu.
Good morning to our esteemed viewers. It's a pleasure to be here again this morning with my brother and friend. It's nice to be here again this morning.
Thank you so much. You're welcome. You're welcome. We're also delighted to have a special guest, Mr. Goodluck Onyechukwu Ojuyenom. Sorry about that. Hope I pronounced it correctly.
Yeah, no problem.
You're welcome.
It's my pleasure being here.
You're welcome. He is a digital brand strategist and the CEO of Growing Digits. Welcome once again, Mr. Goodluck. Viewers, feel free to engage with us during the show by calling the number displayed on your screen or sharing your thoughts via comments through any of our social media platforms. Don't forget to share this live stream link with your friends and families. If you are just tuning in, this is still Now Streaming live from ACNNTV studio. To begin our discussion on today's topic, the impact of AI on our daily lives. Still with us in the studio to discuss this important topic is Mr. Goodluck Onyechukwu. He is a digital brand strategist and the CEO of Growing Digits. Welcome once again.
Thank you.
Mr. Goodluck. It's a pleasure to have you. Yeah. Viewers, remember to stay engaged by calling in or leaving your comments on our social media platform, and let's keep the conversation going. All right, Mr. Goodluck, thank you so much. Thank you so much. And this topic, I find it quite interesting to discuss because there's a whole lot. Me, for a person, I'm going to reserve my sentiments and have you talk to us about this.
If you have any curiosity.
No, I do, but I believe as we dive into the conversation, I would let them out. But before we go in, can you just tell us more about AI?
Yeah. So AI, as we know, is as artificial intelligence, as the machine learning program over time that has been developed, whereby machines are able to do human activities, tasks that normally humans would do, and now it can be automated gradually. The AI name was coined back in 1956. The AI itself was coined back in 1956. AI has been there for a while. It has been happening in different phases. I think currently now why it's become mainstream is because we're seeing the likes of ChatGPT and all these other ones. That's where we say, okay, so these are AI, these are this, but AI has been in the space. Deep Blue, I don't know if you remember back in 1997, Kasparov playing chess with a machine. He was defeated by the Deep Blue machine back then, by Microsoft Deep Blue.
Yeah.
And then back in 2015, was it 2014? There was this Lee Sedol. He plays Go. It's an Asian game. So AlphaGo defeated Lee Sedol back then as well. So these are machines that have now become part of us, trying to enhance our life, make life better. But gradually we're becoming too dependent on it, the way we're heading. But AI is actually created to help enhance our lives and make things better, carry out tasks quicker. Like even myself, I use it in my business now. First time I tried it was in 2022. I was actually tentative about using it. But a friend told me I was struggling to write a proposal. I had a few details, I've not researched something. My friend just said I should. That was when I discovered ChatGPT. It was like, put this information you have on this platform and then say, and I watched it do magic. And I just saw the typing just going on, and I was like, wow. So I will spend 2 days on this task, and this machine was able to knock it off
in less than a minute.
And I was like,
that's
okay.
record speed.
I was like, okay. Now I had to start learning it, knowing how to navigate it. Like, okay, how do I improve it? How do I use it exactly? There are some terms that to use that you have to change to sound more humans.
Yeah.
So I had to start learning how to navigate it. Now, about 80% of my work researches I do with AI. because there's always the human part that you need to add to make sure, else you would know. I once interviewed a person and we're doing it virtually, and from his response I could tell he was using AI to respond to me. The way he would send because we're doing virtually, he would send the chat. When I ask questions, he would type and send. And I saw the same way the AI would leave the emoji, the bullet points. I saw even the ask theories. I was like, you became dependent on AI so much that you just copied and pasted.
And can't do anything.
I think AI speaks pidgin too, right?
Yes, it does. And it's interesting. If there was a trend that happened, is it late last year, when on Twitter, when they said you should ask your AI to tell you about yourself. And then it tells you who you are, like how you've been.
I think
feeding
in
it
addition
all
to
this
that,
while.
so they also do something. Tell your AI to press you money. So press me 50k, and I was responding with pidgin. If I get 50k, I know go be machine.
So they trained it. It's being trained over time with information. That's why sometimes it will tell you that some errors. There might be some errors that is still under control.
Cross check your facts.
But there's still some bias in some places. Like when you ask, I've tried doing some research in terms of a religious research, and then it will tell you that it will not it cannot give you full details on social topic. So there's still some bias and influence there. But different apps are coming up with AI. Is the word processing, the video editing, graphics, those are the ones that are becoming mainstream. That's why it's being promoted there. But there are many other ones on the ground.
So AI is not just limited to just ChatGPT. There are still some other brothers.
So many. Okay, so have you heard about self-driving vehicles?
Like Tesla.
Exactly.
Those are artificial.
So those are actually created to solve problems like drunk driving and people over speeding. But in this case, you have machines that have control. They can use sensors and they can tell.
Drive, yes, when you're too close.
If you're sick, somebody is sick, just get in the car and you drive it to your location. So it's a bit. I see a bit of it's a mix of robotic as well. So they pair them together to deliver this result. It's actually supposed to help us achieve more, but just as humans, we can be too dependent on it. That's the concerns. Oftentimes, we can be too dependent on it. So that's why we need to be careful. But if we harness it very well, it's actually going to do well. And I would encourage us as a nation to actually harness it, because whoever harnesses the power of AI first will lead in this information era.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So, can AI systems be creative enough, or are they limited to processing existing data?
No, they can be more creative. So because they learn, they get feedback and can improve on it over 100 times faster. So the feedback on them, they use it to improve. They are very creative. If you played around with some of the chats, you would see how you would be curious how they got that information. Based on the few things, they can fill in the gap and get very creative in the way they respond. So because how it works is, you give it information, it works with what it has, and it takes every new information, processes it, adds it to its own database, and then works on going forward. So it's what we are building is an alien technology. Actually, it's
not an artificial
massive.
Intelligence.
So because actually what we have a lot of automated systems in our homes. Take the coffee machine, for example.
Okay.
It's I see AI as, let me use the word, agent or an assistant. Because unlike machines, whereby it's a tool, with what you give it gives back. There's a word in terms, I've forgotten it, computer science, that we used to use, that when you garbage in, garbage out, that's a summary. But what you give it gives it back. But AI has improved beyond that. So let's use the case of a coffee machine, whereby you already put your coffee, and then you press a button, it gives you back your drink. Now what AI is going to do for you is, over time, AI now understands you, understands the morning, understands the weather, and will say, okay, using data he has gathered about you, you are feeling down, I'll make you an espresso. It's no longer you just come and press, I'll make you an espresso. Using data it has gathered about you, I'll make you an espresso with sugar. Maybe somewhere you've provided some information that you don't need a lot of sugar. It's okay, lesser cubes of sugar. AI can give you that. AI can even use, because you like tasting something new, I would also create a new taste that has not been done before for you. I'll mix up something for you. And AI, that's what AI would do for you. So that's the next level. It's not just give it information. It will give it information. It will improve upon it and give you many options. So it's growing. For me, it's an alien technology we're dealing with here.
Mr. Bolu.
Oh, all right, thank you very much. I think I've really learned a lot, and it just made me to understand. Oftentimes, we have our phones, and there are times you just say something, and probably your phone or your device is responding, and you'll be wondering, okay, I don't want you. I think there was a day I was asking my ChatGPT some kind of question, and it was telling me, I understand you are sad. I can actually make you happy. You want to talk to someone. Can you call the Fed lines? I say, I'm in Nigeria. Okay, there is an emergency number in Nigeria that you can actually reach out to. You can say, okay, you don't do. I don't want again. But then I think that actually brings me to this question. I says, how can we ensure that AI decision making is transparent, accountable, and unbiased? Because take note of it that. Or taking into cognizance that what AI really does is it works with the data that has been provided, and probably maybe over time it improves upon it. So it means many people can actually impute wrong and biased information on artificial intelligence, and when other people are now trying to make their findings, it brings up that wrong information. So how can we now ensure that AI decision making is transparent, accountable, and unbiased?
Yes, so we have to get involved with the feedback system. So by the time over time, these systems are going to be there, but we want to be involved, like open source, to say, okay, this is the way this machine is acting, and it's unbiased in this information in this way. We should be able to say something early, so we don't leave something running quietly, then it becomes mainstream. Anything you notice that, okay, as you're using this thing, you provide feedback that this is it, so we checkmate it, and then rules should be created. The parliamentary system will develop rules in order to keep guidance, because when it becomes so powerful, some other people want to use it as well. Bias, because AI, for example, can give you, it's going to go into the level whereby it processes your loan, your driver's license.
So it has stored information about that people can harness.
That can harness. So now this, if you go to the bank to apply for some loans, sometimes you're not approved and you don't even know the reason why, and some of those reasons are biased. You will see nepotism in some cases, but AI was developed now to have such framework whereby there's no nepotism in this. But you see, the funny thing is, even those people who have this kind of mindset are still working in some of those organizations, and then gradually they are imputing some keywords and information to say, if this person is from so place or has stayed in so place in so time, don't approve this. That will still happen. But it's going to be a learning and confirmation period when they give you those feedback and you realize, okay, we need to hold these people who are dealing with this data accountable. And it's okay, we've given so information and this is what he's saying. Why am I not being approved? So person is being approved. We'll gather those information and they'll make laws to make sure that we put them in check, because everything is a check and balance. Else, somebody will just run it. And that's why it's advisable we harness the power now. There are many people that say they want to use AI, they don't want to use AI, all this machine stuff. No, I always encourage them. Learn it, understand how it works, so that it will be on your side. You will know when it's working against you. From there, you will now say, okay, no, this is not how it's supposed to work, or this is how it's supposed to work. Because if you don't get involved now, it will turn up against you and you won't even know. Like I saw a friend shared on his status about AI giving teenagers prayer requests. So now you can now go and pray to an AI. It's like a god to you. You pray and to answer your prayers and all. I'm like, okay, this is not what AI is supposed to do. But people are beginning to create softwares in a biased way to say, okay, I'll answer this your prayer, I'll answer this other prayer. We now that have an understanding in that space are supposed to go in there and make sure that, okay, we say, no, this is not how it is. In so place, you're not supposed to use so term. We should have standards that we use to checkmate those things. Else, give any person power, they will run with it and they'll act any way they like. So some level of transparency, and then there's a check and balance system. Our government will always need to get involved. That's one thing that's sure, because when you have a strong system that is protecting.
Yeah. Sorry, just before we leave that, when you say our government needs to get involved, it means they need to probably come through legislative policies and all that. And in this climate and time, will you not be seen as wanting to gag or monitor
people's privacy.
Or the way they interact with the AI and all of those things. Now, given that in our climb here, we know how inadequate our government can be when it comes to managing things like this, so it will not be seen or deemed to be gagging the tech space and techpreneurs.
Yeah. So those who are elites in the space are part of people who advocate for such. Take the social media, for example. There was a time when Twitter was shut down and all because of data. I believe some people had that experience where we couldn't access the platform anymore because the government was trying to strong arm us, control our narratives the way we. That's on one side. But then you have sometimes this data. Imagine all the data we're giving to all these platforms. They know about you. Now, who owns the company OpenAI? What do we know about them? If all these informations have been given to them, and someone that wants to work against the Nigerian government partners with them and wants to use that information against the citizens. So imagine someone working in the federal government has already used some of those AI to do some work and develop. They gathered enough data in that space. And then such data now is out there in the public. So the government has, in a way, also protect itself from such things.
So are you saying are you in a kind of way insisting that government should regulate?
Yes, they would at some point. It's because I see the need for check and balance. At some point, there will be at some point there. Else, it will be abused.
All right.
Thank you very much.
I have a comment from a viewer. Said the impact of AI. AI is a new way to make life easier. AI is life itself and has come to stay, no doubt. He said, but we have to be very careful about the use of AI. Do you know that many religious leaders, especially pastors, are generating sermons from AI? Wow. Okay, have we got into that level now? Okay, well, it's working for them, but AI is not powerful enough to generate salvation. That's very true.
That's true.
God. The need for genuine study of the Word of God is calling us, Mr. Eze from Abuja. Thank you so much, Mr. Eze, for that comment. So that brings me to, because we're almost out of time, you said something about it probably having a name called an alien intelligence, and that it doesn't just work with the information it's been given. So are we trying to say that we would get to a level where AI now has emotions, where they can now think on their own? Because me, for one, that is one that I have a bias for AI. Yes, aside the fact that I believe it makes life easier, I also feel, because I've seen movies in as much as they seem unrealistic, but with the way things are going, you would know, because Elon Musk, for example, is saying that the future would need to look like the future. And when you watch some of all those movies that looks like the future, you would see where robots are thinking. And we know aliens, for example, when we watch movies about aliens, we know that aliens have minds of their own. So if you're probably telling us now that very soon these guys might probably be described as alien intelligence, or they have so are we saying that they would rule the world at some point? Because with so much information, can they generate emotions? Like, can they generate information and then blow out of proportion?
They would have the intellect, but emotions, that's human. That's the gift God has given humans. No matter how all these technologies come, if you've interacted with AI, even if it's a robot there's sometimes that when you interact with someone, if I'm sitting with you and I'm staring at you, your eyes tell me a lot. Just staring at your eyes. If you're having a bad day, there's a way I'll stare at you, and I can tell you're having a bad day, even without saying. My friends know it when they tell me. Sometimes they don't want to say. I'll say, you're not saying a lot, but your eyes are saying a lot of things. Our body give up this thing, and these are things that AI would still be trying to. They'll be using data that based on this information, this and this. It will never be like humans.
So we're saying they would only work on data. They would never have a mind of their own.
They would be very intelligent, but they would not be emotionally intelligent.
Okay.
That emotional intelligence is something that is a God-given gift. Even humans are not able to harness it themselves. So you can't train that to a machine.
All right, thank you.
So no fears in that department.
Thank you so much about that. Can you give us your last words to our viewers out there?
My advice is, AI is here to stay. Don't fight against it. Embrace it. Learn it. see how you can use it to improve your work, your schedules, and all. Because people are afraid of AI, but what you should be afraid of are the people who are learning AI who are going to replace you. You shouldn't be afraid of AI, but you should be afraid of the fact that some other people are taking advantage of that knowledge. AI system is going to be replaced by people who know how to use AI, not just AI. Those who know how to use AI, because I've seen people who will be giving it information and directing it. If you don't become one of them, then you're going to lose out. So I would advise you now, as early as you can. Like me in my space, I use ChatGPT, I use Gemini, Perplexity, Notion.ai, Canva. They all have different AI because I'm in the branding and communication space, so I use that. I mean, even video editing, I transcribe videos using AI. Embrace it. It will limit your work. Transcribing a video of 30 minutes can take you, if you're going word by word, can take you about 6 hours. And AI will do that thing for you in 5 minutes. Do you know how many hours you've saved of your time? So your job is now to learn it, dot the I's and cross the T's where necessary. Harness it now. I would encourage Nigerians to embrace it, learn it, and grow with it.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Michael, anchor your last words, please.
Like you said, AI is just to stay. Embrace it. So what I got from that is get your own piece of the pie, or get your own piece of the cake, so that you won't lose out on both ends.
Yeah.
I get it, so that you don't lose out on both ends. And I just want to use this as a passing shot that, like that comment said, AI is good enough to generate sermon, but it will never generate salvation.
All right, thank you so much. I'll take this last comment as we conclude. The God, G, small letter, the God called AI. AI is a God, but we still have an almighty God. Government regulations may not really work on AI because what the government could not do for ages, AI is doing it for us at a cheaper chance. Mr. Easy from Abuja, thank you so much. Thank you so much, viewers, for joining us today on Now Streaming Show. It was lovely to still have you being with us. Thank you, Mr. Goodluck. Thank you, my co-anchor, Mr. Boluwatefe. Until next time, join us tomorrow, same time, same station. Have a wonderful day.